I had to make a video tonight. When I was at the church again um, tonight, God knows I'm doubting. He knows I'm doubting. Jesus. He knows I am. Um, even though He's my only option, and I know it, I'm doubting Him. So so the song that they were singing at the church was "Jesus Never Fails." you know, and I'm like, Jesus never fails. It made me think. I'm like, that's true. He hasn't failed yet. so, um, and another thing I listened to was um, about Jesus is he cannot lie. Jesus cannot lie. So, which has been true. Everything that I've been told would happen by God has happened ever since He's been instructing me from when I realized He was. He's he's been. That's why I'm like He can predict the future. God can. He can predict my future because He's predicted things that would happen that have already happened. He's predicted it. So He's been truthful so far. Um, but He knows I'm still doubting. Not mainly, not mainly because it's mainly because like my own insecurities, my own doubt. Mainly, not really in Him. Like, in order to walk this road, the two of us have to work together. Literally, me and Jesus have to work together for the road I'm on to work. This path. It doesn't work by myself, and Jesus would have to come down Himself to walk this road in my place if He wanted to do it, and He knows that, which I wanted Him to do. I wanted Him to take my place, like from the beginning. Like, like you know, you know, Jesus can do everything. Why does He need me? From from like 10 years ago, I was saying that. Why is Jesus helping me? God doesn't need me. you know, they've proven that throughout my whole life. Nobody, they don't need anybody. That's how I thought. I'm like, Jesus doesn't need anybody. It's just like, and then a thought came to my mind, and I know that God, uh, He knows I thought this way growing up. If the Savior of the world doesn't acknowledge just a kid, He's like too good to talk to a kid. He's nothing. He's fucking nothing. I don't care if He's Jesus. And God knows that. God knows that. Because it's true. If Jesus doesn't know you, doesn't acknowledge you, none of that. He ain't Jesus. He's nothing. And if He was, He would cease to be Jesus if He didn't acknowledge one person, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, if the God doesn't acknowledge the kid is above the God, in my opinion. Because the God let the kid down. Didn't acknowledge the kid. So He's nothing. That's how I thought my whole life. If He doesn't acknowledge pretty much the, the forgotten, the abused kids of the world, He's nothing. And He knows I thought that way. I'm saying? But obviously, I'm still alive. So he did know. He did know about the kid. You know what I'm saying? He did know about the kid that everybody else ignored. He did know about that kid. That's the craziest part about this whole road. He knew about that kid the whole damn time. So he was the true God. He was Jesus. He wasn't some of these high fancy humans, that think they're so great, you know, that talk trash to everybody, even on YouTube talk trash. He's not like that. you know, he's better. He's a better person than anybody on this planet. Jesus is. To acknowledge someone that no one acknowledged. That's what makes him better than anybody. No matter what anybody says to me, no matter who cuts me down, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. So, but God, I thought about that today. Like, I think this is about any leader, any true leader that just pretty much walks by and pretty much just kicks the kid away. You know what I'm saying? That kid that looks up to him, basically. The leader is that kid's hero, and then that leader just kicks him. That leader is nothing compared to that kid. That kid is above that leader, in my opinion. So that's how I thought Jesus was. You know what I'm saying? Because it didn't seem like he knew about me. It didn't seem like he knew my situation. It didn't seem like he knew anything. Like a disconnected leader. That's what I thought. So that's why my whole life I'm like, he's nothing. You know what I'm saying? My whole life, most of my life, I was like that. And God knows that. I'm like, I'm better than God. I would have defended me. I would have acknowledged me if I was God, And I'm like 12 saying this, Like, I'm a better person than God. God damn. God knows that's true. I'm like, so, but the fact that I'm still alive kind of contradicts all that. Just like, shit, he did see me the whole damn time. He was watching the whole damn time. He really is a God. Like, he really was paying attention to everybody on the ground when I didn't think he was. So, but think about it. Think about this. Just picture this. Jesus is just walking down a crowd. Everybody's praising him. I'm just putting a hypothetical. He's walking down a crowd. A kid comes up to Jesus. And pretty much like he wants to see him. He's his hero. He's heard so much about him. He wants him to heal him, of his ailments. Kid comes up to him. Jesus looks at him, walks right by. Doesn't even barely acknowledge the kid. And that's how I viewed Jesus for most of my life. That image. Because I didn't think he acknowledged me at all. Didn't notice me at all. If that makes sense. He's walking down the crowd. Everybody's loving him, praising his name, worshiping him, all that. Some desperate kid in poverty comes running up to him. You know, to see this Savior, you know, that everybody's talking about, this Jesus guy. This kid comes up to him. He says, you know, just wants to talk to him, you know, like, you know, can you help me? Can you heal me? You know, my situation. Jesus just walks right by. That's how I viewed Jesus for most of my life. That kind of person. Too good to acknowledge the kid that needed him. You know what I'm saying? That's how I saw him. And he knows that. So, but now that I'm older, I'm like, you know, my view has changed. And I'm just like, that little kid is grown up now. And I'm just like, and so now the heavy hitter, the real Jesus, comes for the kid, basically. And that kid realized that Jesus was watching him the whole damn time. Let that sink in. You know? So I had this view of, I thought Jesus was. You know, that's why I thought he was nothing. Because he didn't acknowledge me. He was nothing. For most of my life, I thought that. I'm like, that's why I thought there was no God. And if there was, he was just trash. You know? So that's why I live the way I live, you know? As if there was no God. That's why I live the way I live most of my life. Just as if there's nothing. So, and God knows that. I wouldn't even acknowledge God for most of my life. Wouldn't even acknowledge. You know. But anyways, I've always wanted to say that. You know, like, because like, it just seemed like Jesus was not who I thought he was. You know, he wasn't this good dude. Growing up, that I didn't see him like that. Like I thought he was, and then shit happened to me, and then I'm like, he's not good at all. You know what I'm saying? So I started seeing him like I saw the leaders of the church. Like I saw him as one of them. I saw Jesus as one of them. Greedy. You know, he sold out. I thought Jesus sold out for business, you know, for building church buildings and temples, and while everyone was forgotten, like me, you know. So, and I said, I'm like, I don't give a damn how many religious buildings Jesus puts up. He's nothing. He's nothing compared, because he did not even acknowledge one of his children. You know, that's what I thought. And he knows that's what I thought. So I don't give a damn. But anyways, now I'm like trying to put myself together. Playing catch up, you know, because, oh shit, Jesus wasn't like that. so, but anyways, I'm just going rambling, but you can see how I thought that. So much evidence was like, Jesus ain't that good, dude. I thought he was. There's so much evidence to prove that to me growing up. So, but now it's just like, he allowed it for certain reasons, but then like, now he's wanting me to help him. that kid that thought he was ignored by Jesus, now Jesus wants that young kid to help him now. Turn of events. And people are like, Jesus is not using you to help him. He doesn't need your help. You bet your ass he's using me to help him. And he knows it. He knows he's using me to help him. Not just with videos, but in real fucking life. he's having me help him. He knows damn well he's using me to help him. Even if I don't think I'm helping him, I'm helping him. That's how much I'm helping him. I'm helping him on accident. That's how much I'm helping him now. You know? You know what I'm saying? who even knows how much I've helped him with all the videos I made? Who even knows how much I've helped him? Helping people across the whole fucking planet. You know, that's gone through serious abuse. Who knows how many people? Just to make them feel that they're not alone. That alone, you know. Because the recovery road is hard. Super hard. Even with the help of Jesus, it's hard. So, and he knows that. So, it's not a quick fix, you know. Even though I wish it was, but it's not. You want to know how many times I've asked Jesus to heal me instantly? He knows a lot. It's not a quick fix, you know. So a part of me just wishes that there was no Jesus. And I'm sorry to say that to him, you know. Because if there wasn't, I would have been right. I would have been right. And I wouldn't be on the planet anymore. Suffering, you know, still. With no reward. Although today was a pretty good day, I admit. And I appreciated today a lot. And God knows why I appreciate it today. So he's putting these golden nuggets in my road, you know, these blessings, and I acknowledge it, you know. It's just like, okay, I admit that, you know, that was nice, you know. So anyways, but anyways, back to the topic. Is just like, Jesus never fails, and they kept singing that Jesus never fails, never failed, never fails. And I think those were just trying to remind me of that. Just like, I'm doubting him, but he's never failed. But I'm doubting him, but he's never failed. You know, you see this tango going on in my mind. You know, I'm doubting myself, but he's never failed. The world's doubting me, but he's never failed. So, you know, so I'm like, shit. But I had this crazy image, you know, while that song was going on. And I inspire myself sometimes with crazy images, and maybe this offends people, but me and Jesus were back to back. You know, I'm looking like this. He's in his glorified form behind me. You know, we're back to back. I know he doesn't need my help. I know that. But it's just cool, you know, just us back to back. And the entire army of the enemy, of Lucifer and his angels, are circling around us in the sky. I'm talking billions are circling us, coming for us, the two of us. You know what I'm saying? And I know that's what they did to Jesus when he was on the earth. Back then, they were all trying to take him down like that. Like it feels like they're trying to take me down these days. Same thing. So I know he knows how that goes. They have that whole enemy against you. But they still didn't succeed against him, you know. So I had this image of us me and him back to back. He's in his glorified form, as he is probably right now. I don't know what he looks like in his glorified form. So, but I just imagined it, you know what I'm saying? So we're like back to back, and we're just looking up at the sky. We just see the whole enemy and Lucifer and his whole army coming at us. You know, it's just the two of us going up against it. You know, and just that image is just kind of to inspire me. You know what I'm saying? Don't take it literal, but it's to inspire me. You know, to keep me going, basically. Because I admit it's taken a lot to keep me going, and God knows that. It's taken a lot. He's throwing even, you know, beautiful women. Well, not like an attraction, but like women that he knows that I care about. he's using that to keep me going in a way. I noticed that today because he knows who I care about. He knows who I care about a lot. You know, and that's what I realized today. I'm like, fuck. God knows I care about this person a lot. You know. But like shit. I'm like, you know I love her, don't you? He's like, yep. I'm like, shit. But I'm like the Wolverine chasing Jean Grey. You know, it's like that. You know, it's always like that. The ones that I care about, I don't get them. It's been that way my whole life. I'll get the ones I don't really want, you know, throughout life. But the ones I really want and the ones I really care about, I usually don't get. I don't end up with, basically. And God knows that. So I'm trying not to care too much, but it's hard, you know, because he's changed my heart. You know, before I couldn't feel love before at all. You know, I couldn't care about anybody at all. But God has changed my heart that I can care about somebody. I can love somebody. He's changed my heart to do that now. And I can feel it. I'm like, holy shit. God damn. But it's always and I know she cares about me too. I know she does. So it's tough. Because, you know, she's with someone right now. Like I said, it's like the Wolverine thing. Chasing Jean Grey. He loves Jean Grey, and Jean Grey likes the Wolverine, but she doesn't choose the Wolverine. It's my life story, basically, when it comes to women I've wanted, like really wanted. That's my life story. You know, they don't pick Wolverine. You know what I'm saying? So, usually I just walk before I care about them. Now, you know, I just keep walking. You know? But this time I'm like, man. And that's kind of what hit me today. I'm like, God damn. It shocked me. I'm like, I actually care about her. You know? So I'm like, holy shit. Like, God damn. I didn't see it coming. Not at all. Not at all. I didn't see it coming. But the more I was around her over time, the more I loved her. You know, the more I cared about her, the more I was over time. I'm like, fuck. And God knows I do. I'm like, shit. So it's a big thing. If I love, that's big. If I love someone, like a human, if I love a human, that's huge. God knows that. Because I usually don't love anybody. I usually don't care about anybody. You know? So, I just trained myself that way over time. You get hurt so much, you're just like, I don't care about anything, you know. But God wants me to change that. He wants me to love. He wants me to be able to love and care. He's changing that in me somehow. You know, he's been working on that. You know, so I'm just like, holy shit, I can love. You know, I can actually love. You know, I can do what the psychopaths can't do. I can feel love. Millions and millions of psychopaths can't feel love on the planet. I can. That's fucking amazing, you know? That's what I said. Like, goddamn. So many people can't feel love. But I can. So, like, goddamn. Very interesting. So, I don't... When it says God gives you a new heart, I think that's what he did. He gave me a heart that I could love. You know, I could care about people, you know? Yeah, pretty sure that's what he did. Ugh. But anyways, but yeah, isn't it like a huge turn of events? You know, that the kid me that saw Jesus a certain way growing up and was certain that Jesus was a certain way and he was nothing. You know what I'm saying? Turns it around. Jesus is now helping that kid. Grown up now. That grown up kid, he's helping him now. And the kid realized that Jesus was watching him the whole time. Because that's the only way he's been able to help me this far. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I thought about this just when I was reading a book. It's like it's pretty much two scapegoats teaming up together. It really is. It's like two scapegoats teaming up together. Jesus, the first scapegoat, and then me, a scapegoat. You know, so he selected another scapegoat basically for some reason. A scapegoat that thought Jesus was nothing. Jesus didn't know who he was. You know, all that. That thought he was better than Jesus because he wouldn't have ignored me. You know, basically, you know. That's why this is a whole 180. Huge 180. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I thought I was right my whole life about Jesus. I thought I was right. I knew that he wasn't that good person that everybody thought he was. I was convinced of that growing up because I didn't experience a good Jesus growing up. You know, he knows that I didn't experience anything like that. So, you know, so when people were praising Jesus, I'm like, he ain't that great. You know, for most of my life, I was like that. He ain't that special. You know, just off my life experience. You know, doesn't defend his children. You know, so. But anyways, he knows how I feel or how I felt. But I still doubt. You know, I still doubt. Like, just like you doubt the Jesus on the cross. Yes, I still doubt. Still doubt. He's been helping me for a long time. I still doubt him. You know, I do. God knows I do. So I'm just like I doubt so much that I just want to just quit. You know, it's like I can't do this anymore. Just like you know. But at the same time, there's nowhere to hide. You know, at the same time, just like shit. So nowhere to hide, nowhere to quit. You know, so one of those things. I'm like, and that's what it hit. That's when it really hit me. I have to walk this road. And God knows this. I have to walk this road or end my life. He knows that. God knows that. I have to walk this road because there's no other road for me now. You know, God's in charge of this road now. There's no other road. And if I don't walk this road, my life's over. If it isn't already. And God knows that. So this road is my only last hope. And I don't care who makes fun of me at all, but I don't care who's ever made fun of me. Even on the healing road, I don't care who's made fun of me. You know, it doesn't matter to me anymore. I don't give a shit. I've taken more heat than you've ever imagined, so I don't give a shit. God knows I have. The only person that's taken more heat than me from people is Jesus. He's the only one. So I don't give a fuck. Basically, if there wasn't a Jesus, I wouldn't even care about this world. You wouldn't even see my face again if there was no Jesus. You know, everything in the Bible would be bullshit. Everything Jesus said in the Bible would be bullshit because there'd be no Jesus. You know, if I wasn't alive, you know, if he wasn't healing me, if that makes sense. If I suffer and die with no Jesus, then everything was a lie and I could rest in peace. You know, and God knows that. So that's kind of what I was hoping for. I was hoping like everything in this world's a lie, even Jesus. I was hoping everything was. That way I can just die, go home, go somewhere after death, you know. It's like this whole world's a lie anyways. Why be here if it's a lie? You know, that's how I saw it. So, you want to live in a world that's a lie? Have fun. Not me. I'm not staying here. So, anyways, enough about that abysmal talk. But anyways, it's just funny in class, you know. I know this might offend people. I know this will. But I already knew this going into Christian church. Yeah, this is going to offend people. I know it will, but oh well. I'm learning about offending people and stuff in class actually. Like don't let yourself be offended, basically is what I'm learning in the Christian class. Because that's one of the traps of Satan. Is if you let yourself be offended, that's the trap of Satan. That's what I'm learning. So if you're offended, you're falling into the trap. But yeah, I'm gonna say it. I'm like, even though I like a lot of the people there, some Christians are kind of annoying. And I already knew that going in, because even not going to a Christian church before that, throughout my life, Christians were fucking annoying. Especially the born agains. They're fucking annoying. I'm sorry if that offends you. I know Jesus says be born again, to go into heaven, be saved, but he didn't say harass people. Is what I'm trying to say. He didn't say harass the fuck out of people, which I've seen. Just harass, yell at people. These born again, you know, just like, yeah, that's what Jesus wanted you to do. That's what it, yeah. In my mind, I'm like, there's no way. The real Jesus on the cross that gave his life for everybody wanted that bullshit. Fuck no, you know. I don't care what scriptures people show me. Don't care. What I've seen And I've seen a lot from religious people in my life. God knows that. Not just from the cult, because part of the cult has Christian teachings. Not just from that, but from outside the cult, seeing born agains, seeing street preachers, um, all that. God knows I've seen a lot of shit related to religion and Jesus. He knows that's why I don't think highly of any of it. So the only way I would even walk, like I said before, is if Jesus is nothing like them, and he isn't. He's nothing like the Christians. Nothing. Nothing like them, in my opinion. He's not. You know what I'm saying? So, I know that offends people, but he's way on a different level. Way different. Because God knows if Jesus was like the Christians, I wouldn't do shit. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't do shit for God if Jesus was like the Christians. You know, just I'm born again. You're not. I can do whatever I want now because I'm saved. I can do whatever I want now because I'm saved. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Be saved in prison. You know. Anyways, enough about that. But I've heard all those arguments. I've seen them up close. God knows I have. The battles with the born agains, and the Mormons. Just the battle, constant. I've seen it up close. I'm not a fan of any of that. God knows that. So, if that offends you, I'm sorry. So, but oh well, Get to talk what I want to talk about. That's what I want to talk about on my channel for now. But anyways, yeah, that's what shocked me. I guess that's what shocked me the most is like Jesus is nothing like any of his followers. He's not. If he was, he would never help me. He would never help me if he was like his followers. His followers let me down a long time ago. The Christians, in real life, he knows that. The true Jesus followers in real life let me down quickly. I might add, quickly. But Jesus has stuck with me. He's impressive. He stuck with me years after the Christians let me down. Years after that. Years and years. You know what I'm saying? When I was just like, these guys are just fucking. These are your followers, Jesus? That's what I said. I'm like, these are your real followers? They're not like anything Christ-like. So I was like, I'm out of here. Sorry. That's what I've seen up close. So, but God knows I can't make Jesus into one of them. He knows I can't do that. He knows I know too much about Jesus now to compare him to his followers. They're not even close to the same. They may know all these scriptures and stuff, but they ain't nothing like Jesus. I don't care how many scriptures they know. Basically, is how I see it. Ugh. Suffering for everybody on the planet, is way more than knowing scriptures. You know what I'm saying? In my book, as far as love goes, you know, if Jesus never suffered on the cross, if he never suffered for everybody, the Bible would be moot. In my opinion, the Bible would be just another thing to put in the garbage without what Jesus did happening in real life. I'm serious. Anything in the Bible is bullshit without Jesus doing what he did. For real. Like actually doing it like he did. The whole Bible's bullshit without it, in my opinion. Everything rests on that, in my opinion. Everything rests on that story. Everything does. In my opinion, everything does. The suffering of everybody. What Jesus did, that everything rests on that. If it's true or false, everything does. It's that pivotal. It's that pivotal. It's a matter of life or death in many ways, if that story happened or not. You know what I mean? So, but anyways, that's enough about that. Even with that said, I still doubt, you know. But I guess, God gives me these things that he knows I'm listening to. Like, he cannot lie. He said that more things would happen in my life. More things, So, that have not happened yet. He hasn't said a whole lot, but what he has said that would happen, it did happen. And I have to remember that. God told the truth. He knows I've been lied to a shitload in life, but he told the truth about one thing, and one thing that would happen, he told the truth about. So I'm like, So he told the truth once about what would happen. So I gotta take it seriously. That if he's telling the truth about that, and he says God cannot lie, logically, he's telling the truth about these other things that haven't happened yet. Basically, that he said would happen in my life. So, anyways, that's kind of another thing that keeps me going. Is like these things that God said would happen, like he cannot lie, they haven't happened yet. So that's kind of another reason I keep going. I'm like, because I kind of want these things that he's said would happen to happen. I kind of do. So good things for me, basically. So, but a part of me is like, I kind of just wanted to give my life, give my life for God, but in a way I am giving my life for God. Like instead of sacrificing myself like dead, I'm giving my life for God in a different way. I'm living. You know what I'm saying? I'm going forward still. And he knows that's way harder for me in a whole different way, to give my life that way, to stay alive. He knows that's big for me, for me to stay alive. I know other people are like, what's so hard about staying alive? This world is awesome. It's great. Not for me. God knows that. It's not that great for me here. So it's big for me to stay alive. Every day, it's big. Every day I stay alive, it's huge. He knows that. Because, so he knows I'm doing something I don't want to do for him. I'm giving my life for God in a different way than Jesus gave his life. In a different way. I'm staying alive instead. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving my life in a different way. Jesus died. I'm doing not that. I'm staying alive instead of dying. You know what I'm saying? So he knows He knows how hard that is for me. So, so I don't know. Like I said, I accomplished all the things you could accomplish in this world like 10 years ago. Money, property, I accomplished all that. God knows that. I accomplished all this that stuff, a long time ago. That people think is everything, the possession. So I'm going after something totally different now. That's not related to the physical stuff. He knows that. I'm going after this path that Jesus is leading me down, you know, that apparently is better than anything this world has to offer, and I'm starting to believe it. Would you give up all the possessions of this world to follow Jesus for salvation? That's what it's come down to, basically. It's exactly what's coming down to. But anyways, I just wish you could walk the road of salvation without a physical body. God knows I want that, because I've always hated the body, the the, the human body. I've always hated it. You know what I'm saying? It's just not the greatest thing, in my opinion. I think being a spirit was better than being in a physical body. And God knows that I think that way. Being a spirit was way better than being in a physical body on this planet. It's almost like I didn't know what I was getting into by being in a physical body. It's like I didn't, like my spirit self didn't know what it was getting into by getting into a body, physical body. Didn't know. And now I totally regret it. That's exactly what's happened. Like, oh shit, I regret being born. I totally regret being born. That's how it's been for a long time. Like, I regret being born. I regret being born on this planet. I made a mistake. God made a mistake. It's been like that for a while. Anyways, it's getting late. I gotta wake up early. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I want to say. It's like God was trying to remind me that Jesus does not fail. All these humans on the planet fail. All of them fail. I know this. They all fail. I don't care who they are. They fail. Everybody does. Even Michael Jordan failed. you know, you see what I'm saying? Everybody fails on this planet, but Jesus doesn't fail. That's what I got from tonight. That even though I know everybody fails on this planet, everybody fails, even me, I fail all the time. Jesus doesn't fail. And that's why I got to remind. That was the message of today, basically. And I got to believe that. Just, okay, he's the big honcho. It's different. It's a little different with the head honcho. He doesn't fail. He doesn't lie. It's a little different, than all these humans on the ground that lie every 2 seconds. It's a little different with Jesus. So if he cannot lie, he never fails. That means he's a better person than anybody on the ground. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what God wanted me to remind me of. That I'm following somebody that doesn't fail, basically. So how can I fail? Even because I'm doubting. How can I fail if the person I'm trying to follow doesn't fail ever? You know what I'm saying? So, but anyways, um, but in the class, like I try to just, it's hard for me to be around people and all the banter, all the chit chat. It's hard for me to be around that all the time. But I tough it out. For Jesus. you know, I'm forcing myself around people for Jesus. I'm like punishing myself by putting myself around people that just yap 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 yap. you know, um, but I always have to say to myself, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Jesus is real. That's what matters. He wants me to be here. That's what matters. He has his reasons. He suffered more than me. So, it's not like it's not like some Joe Schmo I'm following. you know, what I'm saying by coming here. It's not some Joe Schmo, you know. And so whenever they read something that Jesus says, I pay attention, you know. If it's someone else in the Bible that says something, I don't really care. I admit that. If it's Jesus, I pay attention. If Jesus says it, I pay attention. and another part of me was like, when someone tries to interpret what Jesus meant by something, if I don't feel that they interpret it right, I'm like, it kind of bothers me. I'm like, I don't know if that's what Jesus meant by when he said that. Like I say that to myself, but that's just me. Because sometimes it's hard to interpret what he meant by certain things because he spoke in parables. You can interpret it so many different ways. So people interpret it so many different ways. So you're just like, I'm not sure if that's exactly what he meant. I thought he meant it like this. So I ran into that today. I'm like, I don't know if he meant it like that, but maybe. He was a mysterious one. Spoken riddles, basically parables. So you have to interpret it yourself, basically. And only Jesus knows the right way to interpret it. Only he knows the correct answer, But he wants us to come up with our own interpretation of what he meant by this parable, which is kind of frustrating. But anyways, he knows I hate church. I was just going to mention that again. He knows I hate church, everything about it. He knows I hate it. It's boring, I know this might offend people, but it seemed like the video they were playing, there was a pastor talking on the video. It didn't sit well with me, you know. I'm like, that's a pastor. like, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't impressed. Hell, even one of my videos impressed me more than a pastor does. That has to memorize all this stuff and prepare all this stuff and practice all this stuff for the crowd and and say it a certain way, and it's almost like he loves his own voice, basically. It's not about directing the message of what Jesus was saying. Really, it's more about look at the pasture, look how funny I am. That's what it felt like. It just didn't get to the nitty gritty like quick, like I like to do. I like it. People want to hear the real shit. I mean, Jesus suffered like a motherfucker. He's gritty as, you know what I'm saying? He gets to the real shit. I don't care what anybody says. He went through some crazy ass suffering. Crazy ass suffering, you know? So just seeing some jovial pastor that just wants to hear himself talk and get laughs and stuff is kind of pathetic in comparison. You know, that's just my opinion. But anyways, have I talked about the crazy suffering enough? You know, I don't know. Part of me's still like that. I can't believe he fucking suffered like that. Part of me's still like that. I'm like, I can't fucking believe it. Because I may look like some pretty boy or something, but God knows I've suffered like a motherfucker on this planet. I've been through some serious shit. Even though I maybe have a pretty face. God knows better. God knows what I've gone through. He sees past the physical looks, for sure. So, like I said, God's no idiot. You know, he's no idiot. He's seen the hell I've gone through. He's seen it. He's gone through it. As crazy as it is for me to acknowledge that, that's why he's brought me this far. He's not an idiot. You know, he's like, I know damn well how much you've been through. I know what you really are. God knows that. That's God saying that to me. I know what the hell you are. You're a fucking monster. You know, but I created you. I created you, this monster. I don't care what you look up like on the outside. I know what you really are. You know, I'm like, yeah. Thanks. Thanks for making me this way. You know, I had to become a monster to survive. Had to. He knows that. There's no way I could have survived without becoming some kind of monster. You know, just to survive psychopaths. For most of your life, you have to become fucking insane on the inside, you know. You know, but you know, I think Jesus went through more, so he's a bigger monster, in my opinion, in a good way, you know. You know, you have to be to go through that much suffering. You have to become a monster of some kind. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot. So, in my opinion, so. But anyways, I always hope that God just strikes me down sometimes. You know, just like if I say enough stuff, if I talk enough, maybe he'll strike me down. But he never does. Because he knows that'd be too easy for me. He knows that's exactly what I want. It's an instant for sure death. Instant and for sure death. Quick. He knows that's what I want. But I want him to do it. You know. So twinkle me out of here, you know. Because the path I'm walking is way, 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 way harder than just a quick death. Way harder, you know. You know, that's why I'm like, I don't see death like everybody else. death is easy. You know, walking this road is fucking hard. Walking this road and staying alive day after day after day after day, that's what's hard. Trying to heal day after day after day after day, you know, trying to live life in a battered body, basically. That's hard. Quick death, not hard. You know what I'm saying?